All right, looking at your roster now, pretty good roster so far. I, I think you're hoping to add at least one more piece, maybe two, to this roster. Kind of break down for me the team now, where you want to be, what fair expectations might be for year one.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're not backing down from what we said early in the press conference. I mean, fair expectations are to finish in the top 4 of the ACC and go to the NCAA tournament and have a chance to advance in the NCAA tournament. I mean, I think that would be a very good season for us year one. I think that should be the expectation, and I think that's what we're going to do and what we're capable of doing. We really like the guys that we've brought in so far. The number one thing we need to add is some proven scoring. We have some guys who are going to make some big jumps. I feel good about that. But you shoot 62 balls a game, and we don't have all 62 shots accounted for, right now. And so we have a steady dose of some shots that we need to give out. But we've got really good guys with Holloman from Michigan State. He was a captain for Tom Izzo. Terrence Arsenault played in the national championship game. Jerry Dang was in the ACC, put up numbers. Copeland and Breed came with me. We have a kid from Butler, Langdon, who has a lot of pride in NC State. He redshirted at Butler, was one of the all-time leading scorers in North Carolina. We've signed an international big who we think's really, really good. And he's got a 7'6" wingspan, 7'7" wingspan, 6'10". So we feel, we feel good about him. We got a 5-star freshman, Matt Abel. And then we retained, Paul McNeil, who was arguably their best player, particularly the last 10 games. He was arguably their most talented player, and inarguably their best player of the last 10 games last year. So
you feel like it's still.
Oh, we've got it right now. If we don't add, if we just add one more little piece, we're
more little piece.
Well, I mean, I'm saying
how tall would that piece be?
I'm just saying if we added just one more player, we're going to be a borderline, we're going to be able to reach our goals. If we add 2, we're probably going to be able to exceed our goals.
That's what I said. I said before you came on, I said, listen, if you added the 2 guys we've talked about, I think you're talking about, could you be a dark horse, Elite 8-ish type team? If you add both those guys, if you add one of them, I think you're talking about being a tournament team that maybe if things go right, you could get in the Sweet 16.
Yeah, I don't know who you were talking about.
Well, I'm not going to say their names because you can't talk about them.
But I think I think there's some other folks out there too that maybe people are missing. But I think that I think we, we'll have with one we'll have a top 25 ball club, and we'll have a top 10-ish ball club if you add multiple. So, we'll see what shakes out. You never know how it shakes. Recruiting changes differently, changes quickly.
Especially now, right? Doesn't it? Like, how much has it changed from when you were at LSU, high major, to now? Because I feel like now nothing's guaranteed. You may think you have a guy. You may think you're in great shape with a guy. And years ago when that happened, you would relax a little bit, whoever you were, whether it was you, whether it was Bill Self, who you're fighting with one kid right now, whether it was Kay, whoever it was. I don't feel like there were nearly as many flips as there are now because obviously you've got NIL involved.
Well, a lot's changed. A lot stayed the same.
I guess you're right.
Shoot, I was in that SEC. We slept with one eye open for 5 years. I don't know what you're talking about. They weren't flipping, kids.
All right.
Slept with one eye open 5 years straight. But no, I mean, look, I do think that there's more. I think what used to be taboo. There used to be a little bit more gentlemen. Hey, once they commit, we're kind of good. And there was a stigma attached to multiple transfers, and kids would get real worried about transfer multiple times and what people would say and how it would look. And now all that stuff's just gone. It's that's to me is the biggest change is that look, now it's all out in the open. And so now it's all out in the open. And so everybody kind of has a roundabout idea. And look, I don't blame the kids.
No,
I mean,
I think
it's good, but they're going to make a decision that's best for them basketball wise, but also the financial component has to be there. It doesn't I'm not saying you have to have the most. I mean, some of the kids we had, we were not anywhere near We were within the ballpark, but not, not the most. But you still got to have relationships and a good basketball situation. But I do think that kids are more apt to move now. I think they're more apt to, as a coach, you used to have, and this is why I think some coaches really struggle. It doesn't bother me a bit. You used to have just total control over everything. And, now what happens, you could, and this is why I think basketball, the parity is really good. You could stack a roster. There were 4 and 5 stars going to big time schools to be backups, and they were fine with that. Now those same kids, you can't have the depth that you had. So now those same kids are going to get as much or more money to go be a star somewhere else. And so now when that kid becomes a star somewhere else, one of those kids leaves and then he so there's just, that would never happen before. You could just stack your roster.
Calipari would have he'd go 10 deep and the 10th guy might not play.
Yeah, I mean, when I worked for Coach Amaker, who was awesome at Harvard. Now, we didn't really have scholarships, but there were kids we would take at Harvard. He'd be like, just take him so he doesn't go to another school in the league. Like, we didn't really want to, at that point we were
controlling it.
We were He was running the league. He was like, well, just take him so we don't want to play against him. Really? I don't know whether he'll play for us or not, but you could do things. You could do things like that. Yeah. And you can't do that. You do that now, 2 of your other kids are leaving. Right. So I do think it's helped I think everybody ends up where they're supposed to be for the most part. Where that wasn't the case before, and people have missed on that, but that wasn't the case before. The kids who went high major, who aren't high major players, they end up where they're supposed to be. The kids who went mid major, who are everybody kind of ends up within the range where they're supposed to be.
Last one I got for you, Coach, is Alan Breed. He played 2 games for you last year. I remember he told us before the South Dakota event, he was kind of the guy, right? He came in, you were expecting him to be a big time scorer. How healthy is he, and will he be ready to go at 100% by the time the season starts?
You actually talked to him yesterday. He's finishing up his rehab. Actually in Atlanta right now. He'll be here this week. I think he's going to be as healthy as he's been. I mean, look, he's coming off a knee surgery. He's going to be as healthy as he's been, but he's a great kid, great person, and he's a really, really talented player. And so I feel like he's going to make a big impact on what we're doing. I think he's going to be somebody that our fans really love. He plays with a blue collar, kind of an edge. We were in Providence for the NCAA tournament. We walked from our hotel to eat at this Italian restaurant, and there were Providence fans like, "Where's Breed? Where's Breed?" Like, they still knew he was with us at McNeese. I mean, he didn't play. He played 2 games all year. And they knew it, so I mean, he's one of those guys that everybody's kind of drawn to. He's got a magnetic personality, and so we're excited. I'm excited that he chose to come with us, and I think he's going to be able to make an impact on us this year.